I am continually amazed at the talent, the presence of mind, and the deep-seated convictions I see in the common man. It makes you to wonder why these individuals are seemingly stuck in dead-end jobs behind the counter of an auto parts store or serving papers in a local law office when they certainly could be serving in some higher capacity, making a real difference in this world in which we live. Maybe they just want to be left alone. Or maybe their gift or gifts have seemed to only cause them trouble and getting in the way of their happiness in the past. Whatever the reason, Jesus said to us, "To him who is given much, much will be required." Luke 12:48 reads. To pull away from your strengths and to shirk your God-given call is not just wrong. It's a sin. And you dare to complain about the cost of living or the state of affairs in this world when you are the problem. Edmund Burke wrote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Our world is in its present condition, not because evil men and seducers have waxed worse, 2 Timothy 3:13 tells us, but because the love of many have waxed cold, Matthew 24:12 tells us. Matthew 5:14 through 16 reads, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid, nor does anyone light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." Maybe you're afraid of failure. To fail is to do nothing. To succeed is to take one step in front of the other. Maybe you did that and you fell. Not that that's funny. To fall is not to fail, but to fail is to never get back up. Psalms 37:23 and 24 reads, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." Maybe you're afraid of success. Maybe you thought, well, other people were successful and they did this and that and brought reproach not just to themselves and to those closest to them, but to everyone they touched. Why do you judge yourself so harshly for things you have never even done? You don't know them. You don't know their heart, and you don't know their motivation. We're talking about you, not them. You're responsible for you. What have you done? Your answer can only be, well, nothing yet. The Apostle Paul struggled with this his whole life. He was incredibly talented and he was very smart. Yet Paul stood by and held the coats of those and gave consent to those who stoned Stephen and other Christians who died for their faith. Yet after his conversion on the road to Damascus, Paul ended up writing 2/3 of the New Testament, and he also was a martyr for his Christian faith. Paul refused to look backwards. He wrote in Philippians 3:13 and 14, "This one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." You and I come down on ourselves and refuse to forgive ourselves and others for shortcomings and failures in life. Yet Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 4:3-4, with me, it's a very small thing that I should be judged of you, or of man's judgment. I don't even judge myself, he said, for the Lord alone is my judge. Quit judging yourself and quit judging others. That position, my friend, is above yours and mine pay grade. Your job is to do whatever God has placed in your hand to do. And your job above that is to love and pursue God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and your body. And you know what? This takes faith. And faith is trust in God's faithfulness. Hebrews 10:23 says, our God is faithful that promised. Say that to yourself. Our God is faithful that promised. One more time. Our God is faithful that promised. He wants you to trust Him. He wants you to follow Him and fear Him above all and do what He has placed in your hand to do without fear of reprisal or repercussion. And you know what? And at that point, God will truly be in control. And Jesus will be Lord of all concerning you, to the glory of God the Father. Amen.